Welcome to Restitch America, a podcast about restoring civility, strengthening patriotism, and rebuilding unity in America. My name is Ohene-Opare. As an immigrant for nearly 2 decades and a new American citizen, I created this show to help heal our national conversation, to rekindle our pride in our country, and to rebuild our sense of patriotism through optimism, civility, and willful positivity. Now sit, relax, and let's restitch America. Hi everyone, thank you so much for joining me once again on Restitch America. This is episode number 7. My name is Ohene-Opare, and I'm very excited to be here with you today. Now, since this is our very first episode of the year, I want to say to you, Happy New Year. And I sincerely hope that this year is one that brings you success and joy, and one that helps move our country in the right direction. As you know, I haven't posted anything over the last couple of weeks, and the reason is because I have been contemplating what my focus should be this year. And one thing that keeps coming to me is the fact that I want to get away from being just another talking head. Nowadays, everyone has a podcast, and it seems like everyone has become an instant pundit or an instant expert on everything. And everybody's giving their opinions out there. And I know it's important to have people speak up on the things they believe in, but I want to do more than just speaking out. I want to be able to change lives. And so what I'm hoping to do this year is to work with you all to discover what it means to leverage my voice to actually change lives. And what I'm hoping for is to be able to get into not just conversations, but turn those conversations into actions that can actually move the needle in a significant way. And how that is going to manifest, I don't really know, but I'm hoping that we can discover it together. And so your ideas are welcome, your advice is welcome, but at the end of the day, I believe in order for us to rebuild the kind of unity that we need to succeed and progress in America, we need to start going beyond the echo chamber. We need to start moving in a direction that actually marries our words with actions that are tangible and that actually make a difference in people's lives. So I want to start today's episode with resolutions. Now, I know resolutions are things we all come up with in January every year, and many of us quit halfway through the month. However, I'm counting on all of you to hold me accountable because these are things that I really want to achieve. And the reason I want to achieve them is because I believe it will not only allow me to have my voice go further, but not only that, it would inspire others to follow in my footsteps. In the end, I think it would be good for not only me, but for you and hopefully for America. So here are my resolutions for the year. As many of you know, I started writing a memoir last year, and in spite of my hopes to have it completed by the end of the year, I did not complete it. I just wrapped up chapter 3, and I'm hoping that chapter 4 will also wrap up very soon. Every week, I want to provide you an update on my progress to keep me accountable so that I can actually get this done this year. Writing a book has been a dream of mine for a long time, and I want to do it before I turn 40, and I turn 40 next year. So I want to do that this year, and I'm hoping that you can encourage me to get it done. My second resolution of the year, especially as I approach my 40s, is to get healthier. And for me, part of that is to lose a little bit of weight. I know everybody has their own challenges with this, and I am hoping that this year is the year I actually take my health seriously and do what is necessary. So I started running a little bit on the treadmill, and I started working on a goal to run a 10K sometime in the spring. For me, that would be the biggest exercise feat of my life. And so I'm looking forward to it. And I hope that I can also provide updates on how that progress is going week over week so I can keep motivated. And I'm sure to bring you pictures when I do run in the spring. My third resolution for the year is to get more comfortable on camera. When I started this podcast, my hope was to have it be a video podcast. But every time I turn on the camera, I get so nervous that I lose my train of thought and lose my words. And so this year I want to practice a lot more so I can be comfortable on camera starting next week. And I'll tell you more about next week's episode shortly. I figure if I'm going to be a politician or a pundit someday, I need to be able to be comfortable on camera so I can articulate what I want to say in a way that is appealing, in a way that is convincing, and in a way that resonates with the people who hear it. My fourth resolution for the year is to speak at CPAC. This is something that I really want to do. As of now, I do not know what the process is or who to contact or how to make that happen. But I'm going to put it out there in the world that I want to be able to share my experience, and I want to be able to share my story about how I came to conservatism and why I believe the principles and values of America's founding are necessary and need to be restored in order to move this country forward. So if you know anybody who can help me get on the stage at CPAC, please contact me and let me know. My final and most important resolution for the year is to be a more present husband and father. This year, I really want to savor my time with my kids and also continue to strengthen and rekindle my relationship with my wife. In March of this year, we would have been married for 17 years. And I want to take this opportunity to make sure that the next 17 are just as great. I'd love to hear your resolutions for this year, so please reach out to me at contactus@restitchamerica.com, and I will read a couple of them next week. Our episode today is brought to you by Unstuck. Unstuck is a mobile app I built a couple of years ago to solve an issue that seems to plague people all around the world, which is picking a place to eat with your family and friends. I'm sure you've all experienced the frustration associated with the back and forth of trying to decide where to go for dinner. Unstuck solves this problem in minutes so you can stop the argument and enjoy your time together. Unstuck can also help you make decisions about local attractions, hotels, date ideas, and what movies to see in theaters. Unstuck is available for both Android and iPhone. To support our show, please go to unstuck.com to download the app. Unstuck is spelled UNSTUQ. Go to unstuck.com, and if you like what you see, don't forget to give us a 5-star review. Thank you for supporting our show. So in talking about some of the conversations I want to have over the next year, I decided to reach out to one of my contacts on social media who has been very articulate with his explanations of a more left-leaning view of the world and how he believes the policies of the left are more suited to get America and Americans to a better place. And so I've invited him to come next week for us to have a conversation about the ideologies he believes will make America better. He also has some interesting thoughts about conservatives, and so I'm going to pick his brain a little bit about the perspective of the left of American conservatism so we can begin to understand what people really think about us for the sole purpose of recognizing what, if anything, we have in common so that we can begin to repair the chasm that has been created by what I believe are opportunists who seek to keep us divided in order to usurp authority over us. I think this is going to be a very interesting conversation. And this is going to be my very first interview-style podcast episode. So please tune in and listen to it and share it on social media as well so we can get that conversation going. Over the last week, there has been quite a bit of political uproar, especially with the Republicans picking their Speaker of the House. As I watched all the back and forth and all the punditry around picking the speaker, I was very surprised that everybody was talking about the disarray in the Republican Party. What didn't make sense to me is the fact that all those people who took the opportunity to take swipes at the Republican Party were expecting people to conform in a way that did not make any sense to me. Basically, people are saying we should unite for unity's sake and not necessarily because we agree on how things should be done. And that seems quite backwards to me. What is unity if everybody is outsourcing their thinking to somebody else? What is unity if it means leaving your convictions at the door and just acquiescing to some overarching ideal just for the purpose of getting along? That doesn't make any sense to me. And so I was actually very happy that those who felt there needed to be changes actually stood their ground and got those concessions. These are the kinds of changes that are necessary to create the kind of transparency and accountability that we need in government in America. And I hope this is just the beginning. I hope Democrats in the future don't turn to this empty idea of unity in order to create conformity that does not challenge the status quo. I say kudos to the Republicans who stood their ground in order to get certain concessions. And many of those concessions are actually things that most Americans agree need to be done. And I'm glad they're able to do so. So we're only 11 days into the new year, and it seems like so many things are happening all around us. So this year is going to be very interesting, and I'm looking forward to discussing some of the pressing issues of our time. I would like to focus my content this year on the philosophies that undergird what I believe are the necessary principles and values that will bring our country together, and that hopefully will help restitch and heal the divide we currently have with our fellow citizens. Thank you so much for joining me today on Restitch America. If you enjoyed this episode, please consider subscribing and sharing it with your friends and family. Also, remember to join us next week for our interview with my friend from social media. I will be introducing him during the show, so stay tuned for that. Once again, Happy New Year and have a great day.